What's up, guys, and welcome back to Roguefx. Today we are going over, well, essentially we're gauging a deeper understanding when it comes to our conscious introduction, or should I say the introductory of our Rougefx trading system. We're going to very much make this as simple as possible, my friends. I want you guys to really understand how simple this is and how less voided you really should be, right? A lot of people are very much, they don't like change, and change, I mean, you got to understand it, it's very much a part of life, whether that be from dealing with financial issues, dealing with loss, this, that, and the third. My friends, change is a part of our livelihoods as we grow and really kind of evolve as a human race. It is very much essential that we very much adjust and really kind of embrace the ever expanding nature of the markets, right? As you may know, there has been a plethora of strategies, a plethora of ways to interpret these markets. However, I very much do provide you with the simplest approach possible. Roguefx Trading very much provides organized and realistic growth obtainable by anyone willing to essentially work, right? Meaning, I'm going to very much lay the foundation here for you. We might go over a few videos, maybe make a few videos like this, right? So this may be like a 7-6 video series, in whichever case, helping you understand the very much fundamentals of this quote unquote strategy, right? I'm not going to make this too complicated. Essentially, we're going to only really be using a few dots, a trend line, and maybe a box, right? A rectangle box for, in whichever case, identifying liquidity pools as well as identifying your point of interest. I really want you guys to really understand how simple this can be and will be for you. And I mean, guys, I do understand how change can very much be scary. It can very much be, in whichever case, detrimental to your overall depiction of, I mean, you can call it reality. However, there was a time where there were no cars and we were riding on horses. There was a time where we didn't have cell phones. We had pay phones, or we had minute phones, or however the case may be. Guys, this is literally to help you guys improve at the thing that you've been learning, or I mean, for a lot of people, years. I really want you guys to like really kind of embrace trading wholeheartedly. It is a lifestyle, guys. It's a career, and it can very much be something that is used as a tool, and it's going to be used as a tool for many generations to come, of course. Like, guys, imagine your children studying Forex on the side while going to school, coming out of high school, financially stable, or I should say, financially literate enough to really kind of make something of themselves, not necessarily dependent on any kind of corporation, any kind of fast food store or retail based career, or even lifestyle, guys. This is essentially establishing freedom for generations to come. I encourage you to take a chance, guys. Take a chance and really kind of apply yourself. Stop running from change. Stop avoiding the essentially the inevitable, my friends. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to help you understand that, guys, there's an easier way to do this than pretty much guessing high and lows and assuming your bias. Your bias is already essentially assumed dependent upon your range. Therefore, the only thing you are very much lacking is experience, because the knowledge is very much here. I do appreciate you guys for tuning in every day. Everybody who hits that like button, those who comment down in the comment section below, I do appreciate you guys for all the support. It is very much not going unnoticed, and it's the reason why I continue to do what I do. As I said before, we're going over a conscious introduction of our Roguefx trading system. If you haven't already hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, because we do aim to post consistently. Without further ado, let's get started. So essentially, my friends, we are looking at a pretty extravagant form of price action. I mean, really, it's essentially just a bullish trend, nothing too crazy, right? However, how many areas of opportunity that very much do exist within this pretty significant trend, it's very much ample, right? So the first thing we're going to very much do is identify our range, right? In whichever case, we're going to go down to our, or in whichever regard, the base of our trend, and locate our protected low, our weak high. What makes this low protected? Well, if I very much draw my fib to really kind of measure this overall range, we essentially have provided a choke, as well as looking left to very much understand that price has essentially broke a structural high in whichever case, that being this weak high. I mean, really, you don't have to look left. The assumption that this range is valid can very much be based on the price action that's very much in front of you. Price provided a liquidity grab and broke structure in the opposite direction. On the lower time frame, price very much provided a liquidity grab, broke structure in the opposite direction. This is establishing your range. Price is very much provided with a retracement in order to very much continue the range cycle from external range liquidity to internal range liquidity, taking out very much a trend line as well as an equal low. Under this equal low very much happens to be what? An unmitigated wick for a significant area or point of interest. We can very much target this weak high or very much the inducement towards the left, which very much can definitely act as a trend line, very much securing well over a 1 to 4, right? Now, I know what you're saying. This is too good to be true. It's just way too easy, right? However, it's not necessarily that, well, I mean, that's simple, right? Simply because, yes, you have the knowledge. Yes, you may have the mindset of a trader, right? Thinking in probabilities. However, do you have the necessary experience? And this is where the practice comes in. And this is why we are going over the conscious introductory phase of this strategy, right? Moving on to our next trade. As you can see, price has essentially performed a liquidity grab of a high towards the left, continued towards the lows, provided a failure, swung towards the highs, and essentially mitigated an unmitigated wick. Our range is going to look like a protected high and a weak low. Now, this weak low isn't the only weak low. We actually have a weak low towards the left that we can very much use as a target. As far as internal range liquidity, we very much have an inducement right here, as well as a point of interest. This is very much securing well over a 1 to 4. Fairly simple, yes. However, it's not going to be given to you. Essentially, you're going to have to work for it regardless. Nothing in this life is given to you. Everything is earned, essentially, right? Moving on to our next range, price has essentially established a protected low and a weak high. We have a liquidity grab and a break of structure in the opposite direction, as well as a liquidity grab and a break of structure in the opposite direction. Where does price essentially reach for? Very much internal range liquidity, whether that be a weak low or maybe an inducement. Under this inducement, we very much have what? A significant order block that can very much be used as our point of interest, whether it fills in 95 or maybe 100% of our point of interest. It doesn't necessarily matter. As long as your stop loss is below 1 or 2, in this case, previous lows, you should very much be fine. Where do we target? Well, we very much have a slanted high that looks very much good for, a significant amount of liquidity. This is very much good for establishing yet another opportunity for a 1 to 4. Obviously dependent upon if you very much held past your overall area of liquidity, which essentially would offer a 1 to 3. Moving on to our next range, we very much have a weak low. What makes this low weak? Guys, did this low break any kind of major low to the left? Of course not. That low is weak. We have a protected high. What's happening towards the left? Price is performing a liquidity grab of very much a significant structural high, very much establishing this as, again, a weak low, protected high range. Price performs a plethora of liquidity grabs, bear with me, in order to very much continue down towards essentially external range liquidity, right? Continuing the range cycle, as well as very much being able to target a significant amount of liquidity being a slanted or trend line. Very much simple. You see, my friends, trading is very much, it should be a simple thing, right? Of course, it's not easy. It's not supposed to be easy because you have to lose. And a lot of people, they have a significant, I should say complications with their reality in whichever case, right? It's the constant breaking down of the ego, which is not essentially real, but a lot of people like to think that their reality is more significant than, reality, right? And I don't want to say these things to confuse you or distort any kind of image that you may have upon yourselves. However, it is important to understand that the markets aren't essentially going to give you a dang thing, right? Of course, they shouldn't. And it's very much not going to, right? Because if trading was easy, don't you think everyone would be a millionaire? Now, an important question to ask is what differentiates you from the next person? How hard are you willing to go? How hard are you willing to work? How hard are you willing to study? Hindsight test, back test. Simulate a live trading market. You don't need money to learn how to trade, my friends. Moving on to our next range. Price has established a liquidity grab in whichever case, targeting very much this trend line that can be very much stretched out. Breaking structure in the opposite direction, of course. Price establishes a weak high as well as a protected low. Now, this weak high is, yes, a liquidity grab of our previous range. However, we very much have an inducement towards the left that we can very much use as, again, liquidity, or in whichever case, a weak high. This low is protected simply because it took out liquidity, broke a structure in the opposite direction. Now, I know what you're thinking. What helps you really kind of anticipate this move before it happens? Well, as you can see, we have a plethora of liquidity, whether that be slanted, 3 candles, an inducement, as well as an imbalanced close price action, maybe even a mitigation sequence, right? In whichever case. This is why it is so important to understand liquidity, simply because at any given time, your range can very much change. With our range very much established, our POI very much integrated, in whichever case, price using this mitigation sequence as yet another opportunity to perform a liquidity grab. In whichever case, we very much have a liquidity pool to essentially help you understand that we have an opportunity for an accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. Guys, these are very much the same things you've been going over for thousands, I'm not going to say thousands, but hundreds or maybe even, decades. However, it's reinterpreted to make it that much more simple. So what was essentially a AMD pattern is essentially going to act as a liquidity pool, liquidating what? A trend line. Fairly simple. Guys, these markets are not voided. There's nothing confusing about it. However, it's going to require work. And if you are lazy, this is not the industry for you. There's no and ifs or buts. If you are not profitable, you are not working hard enough. It is that simple. With the understanding of, of course, AMD pattern in general, which is a concept that I very much do go over in my playlist of, different tools as well as, my repertoire, you can very much target, again, your external range liquidity, providing you with a 1 to 5 in this case. Again, targeting this inducement or weak high. Fairly simple. These are just different ways to interpret these markets, my friends. There's nothing complicated about it. It is simply a video game that you learn how to do, and then at that point you use it as a tool. Money is a tool. Change your perspective. As you can see, price essentially very much, performs its liquidity grab of this 3 candle formation towards the left, continues towards the lows, establishes a weak low. Did this low break any kind of low towards the left? Of course not, guys. What does that mean? It's essentially going to act as a target later on. Now, if I very much use this inducement and very much stretch and really kind of understand what's going on, we have a 3 candle formation. My friends, that is a type of liquidity. If you very much did not catch that, again, check out my playlist of different trading concepts. It's very much there for you guys to study and very much integrate within your own trading plans, my friends, your own trading systems that I very much provide for you. I'm talking to the youth. I'm talking to the millennials that are very much coming up, very much into social media, very much into technology. Guys, y'all are the future. Y'all need to pay attention. You need to really kind of take time and really kind of learn this, because this is something that's going to be used as, different variations of competition, different variations of, like, a lot of people, they like to dance. Well, this is a skill set that's very much if honed, can very much make you a lot of money, of course, but that's besides the point. The skills that are very much developed within trading in general is essentially next level, right? Because we're dealing with our mental, we're dealing with our ability to think logically and then very much adapt to what's being presented within the markets. Enough of the ranting. I do apologize. However, again, weak, low, it is very much important to understand that we have a protected high. What makes this high protected? We are very much taking out a 3 candle formation, which is going to act as a type of liquidity that eventually will be liquidated, essentially, right? Now, it's important to understand that this is not the only, or should not be declared the only target for you. Of course, you can have a partial in whichever case. However, it is also important to understand that we also have a weak low. So we can very much use this down here and then very much just target it. Understanding our range, as well as a significant point of interest that price is essentially using as an opportunity to obviously liquidate and continue towards the lows. It is important to understand that, to scale in essentially is going to actually be the easiest part. Yes, it's going to take time. Yes, you're going to lose a couple amount of times, my friends, simply because you're redefining your quote unquote edge or your ability to scale in consistently based off of course, parameters being presented in order to continue towards where? External range liquidity. Again, a completion of the range cycle, or in whichever case, the liquidation of our liquidity pool, understanding that this is, again, simply an accumulation, manipulation, distribution, or the liquidation of buy stops towards the highs that are essentially going to act as what? A trend line, a slanted 3 candle formation, or an equal high. Guys, this is not complicated. The fact that you think it's complicated is essentially making it complicated. The fact that you are avoiding the necessary work that, obviously you need to put in is only making your life that much more complicated or complex. Understand that trading is as simple as you can make it, guys. That's the reality of it. Moving on to our next range. Price has essentially performed a liquidity grab of a trend line towards the left, continue towards the highs, left a pretty significant high, retest, left a weak low. What makes this high so significant? Well, it's performed a liquidity grab. Don't be confused, my friends. What makes this low weak? It didn't break a low towards the lows, or a major low, structural low towards the lows. Now, when it comes to this drop towards lower prices, what did price essentially aim for? Well, we very much did have, again, an inducement with an unmitigated wick, POI, to very much liquidate, break out, and again, retest, right? Essentially, very much liquidate in order to what? Continue towards the highs. As far as internal range liquidity goes, we have a slanted low just above our point of interest, as well as a target being, yes, very much an inducement. However, we also have a 3 candle formation, right? We have a structural high, structural high, structural high, acting as, again, a 3 candle formation, another form of liquidity. Very much understanding that scaling in is essentially the easiest part, right? What makes it the easiest part? Well, we're essentially reaching for what? Liquidity, which in this case is going to act as a weak low. Fairly simple. I want you guys to really understand, closing this out at a 1 to 3, this was not given to me. I took time to understand this strategy. I took time to really kind of refine this strategy toward its fullest and simplest extent, my friends. The work has already been done for you. However, the work will not be done for you. I hope that makes sense. Trading is something anyone can learn. Trading is something a 12-year-old can learn. It's the reality of it. Trading is something a 18-year-old can learn. Trading is something a 16-year-old can learn. However, the work will very much not be given to you. It's like saying you want to read a book without going through all the chapters. You see what I'm saying? You see how that really kind of, or really should click or flip a switch within your brain to help you really kind of understand how much of a craft this is. A lot of people, they like to play what? Dark Souls. They like to play video games like maybe Destiny 2, things that you have to gradually continue to do consistently in order to get better at, in order to get better weapons, better repertoires, better tools to continue to very much get better and very much improve your level or your skill base. Or, guys, it's the same thing, my friends. This is yet another video game that you can very much enjoy and very much learn to master. Trading is enjoyable, not because of the profits, but because of the work, the hard work that you continuously put in that very much results in profits, my friends. I very much hope this makes sense, my friends. I'm not some alien weirdo that just happens to know how to trade forex. No, my friends, I am a regular person that just happens to work hard, that just happens to be passionate about something that very much is life-changing for a plethora of individuals willing to work, my friends. It's something you have to love. It's something that you have to cherish because it's going to love and cherish you, I promise you. Moving on to our final range of this overall bullish trend, or bullish trending market, that is. It is very much important to understand what's essentially had been going on, right? As far as price essentially, liquidating this three candle formation, providing us with a protected high. What makes this high protected? Well, we're taking out liquidity towards the left. It is also very much important to understand that price has very much left a weak low. What makes this low weak? Did we take out a structural low towards the left? Of course not. This low is weak. Essentially, this low becomes a target. And if you're not comfortable with holding toward a significant structural low as a target, use the inducement towards the left. My friends, there are a plethora of options within this strategy to make money. What does that mean? Essentially, there's no excuse, my friends. And that's not necessarily trying to come at you in any kind of way. I'm just saying, my friends, that whether you secure 1%, 2%, 3%, or 15%, profit is very much profit. Don't allow greed to overtake you, my friends. You are very much worth more than greed. You are very much worth more than fear. You shouldn't fear taking risk because every day you wake up, well, it's a risk. Every day you get in your car, well, it's a risk. Every day you talk to a new person, it's a risk. I really hope you guys understand, really understand that, trading in general, but this strategy, of course, it's essentially, it's the same thing you've been doing since the past. However, it's more organized and it provides an opportunity to build upon your foundation, which essentially is what? Your conscious introductory. Essentially what I'm showing you right now. You can build upon this. I've shown you this a plethora of times. However, most people, they join, or in whichever case, they find my videos at various different times. And at this case, I'm pretty far in my journey of a trader, or being, becoming this trader, of this person of, well, significance, right? And guys, there's nothing special about me. However, my work ethic is what makes me so special. And that right there should be an inspiration for those kids around the world that are looking for something to really kind of hold on to, grapple on to, something that, I don't know what I'm going to do in my future. I'm so confused. Guys, trading is a way. It's a way. And no, you do not need money to start this journey, my friends. Yes, I do offer mentorship as well as membership, but the knowledge is free. I offer the knowledge free of charge because I care, guys. I want this to be everywhere. I really do. I want you guys to take my ideas and put them into your own and make something of your own and make life easier for the children that are very much continuing to develop and very much continuing to, in this case, in this day and time, suffer because they don't know what they're going to do out of high school. They don't know what they're going to do as far as really coming out of middle school, going into high school. They don't know what they want to do. Most individuals that I've really, if we're really just talking about me, guys, I suffer from ADHD, Most individuals don't even know they suffer from autism. They don't understand that they suffer from maybe borderline personality. Really kind of locating our POI, we have an unmitigated wick that can very much be redefined to what? What we can very much associate with an imbalanced close price section, right? And I'm not necessarily talking about what's happening towards the left. As you can see, we have a weak high and a weak low. Can you understand that? At this point, we have a whole liquidity pool, accumulation, manipulation, distribution, in order to very much continue down towards external rents liquidity, securing a 1 to 7, my friends. I do appreciate everyone who very much tuned in. I appreciate everyone who subscribed to the channel. I appreciate everyone who's continuing to work, continuing to not give up on themselves, that's continuing to very much improve in your own time, within your own pace. Guys, God be the glory. Blessings to you all. I'm a very God-fearing man. I do appreciate every one of you guys for tuning in. God bless you guys. And guys, God bless your individual training journeys. Guys, I don't care to receive any kind of recognition for the things that I do. I only hope to see a change. Not necessarily a bad change, maybe not even a good change, but a change, right? Simply because, I mean, the money is out there, but how do we get it? How do we get to it, right? The funds are out there, but how do we get to it? Well, this is a way, my friends, right? This can very much provide you with, your college tuition. This can very much provide you with the ability to very much travel the world, or very much do what you want, my friends. Go eat at different restaurants. Go live your life. Get off the internet and really kind of just live, love, and learn continuously every day, and understand that, man, life is beautiful, my friends. God is good, my friends. Until next time on Roguefx.